Welcome to the Wellness Revolution podcast, the radio show all about wellness in your mind, body, spirit, personal growth, sex, and relationships. Stay tuned for weekly interviews featuring guests that have achieved physical, mental, and spiritual health in their lives. If you'd like to have access to our entire back catalog, visit drveronica.com for instant access. And here is your host, Dr. Veronica.
I'm Dr. Veronica, medical doctor, medical intuitive, and here to give you all kinds of information that you can enjoy, but then go in your life and implement. Implementation. Why are you ill? You don't just get things. You really don't just get the diabetes, the sugar. You don't just get the cholesterol. You don't just get the high blood pressure. You don't just get the cancer. It doesn't just strike you because you are a victim. But if you want to claim victimhood, the only person that you can blame that is the persecutor is you. So you're the victim and you're the persecutor. Think about that. Yes, you already know this. You do. And why do I tell you this? I would like you to understand how much control that you have, how you create your reality. And that includes the reality of your physical illnesses or your well-being. This is important for you to really grasp. You can bring yourself back from the brinks of death to full wellness. How do I know this? I've seen it done without the hands of doctors. Now, I am a traditionally trained medical doctor and I am a surgeon. And so I've seen so much. My first day of clinical training, I was on the shock trauma team. And what did that mean? It meant when people had bad things happen to them, generally at the hands of somebody else, the shock trauma team rushes in to save them. Except my first medical school experience, third year medical school, first day, July 1st. It was 7 a.m. We started morning report. I was on the surgery team. And what happened is the pagers went off and there was a drama and a trauma going on in the emergency room. I was at University Hospital in Newark, New Jersey. We all go to the elevator. And what happens when you're on the shock trauma team is the surgeons have keys to the elevator. And so if you ever see the team rush in and turn the key and the elevator goes where it wants to go, that would be the shock trauma team. We're talking here true emergency. And so I get people that are upset that, you know, I stay in close contact with all my coaching clients and I email them and I allow them to text me and all this other stuff. But they get sometime uptight if I don't get back to them right away because it's an emergency, because I don't know what to eat. And Dr. Veronica, you can't possibly have another client besides me. And you can't possibly have to eat, drink, and go to the bathroom sometime. You can't possibly want to pet your dogs and be with your husband because I don't know what to eat and you must pay attention to me. Hey, get a grip. It is you who knows exactly what to do. And what has happened is you have destroyed yourself and now you want everyone to run to your rescue. Well, that is just not how it works. It's not how it works. Part of what I do is I hold you accountable so that you become a stronger part of you and then you stop destroying yourself. And most people destroy themselves with food. In this country, we are all allowed to be gluttonous to a shame. And so you look down on the people who use alcohol and drugs and sex and gambling because they have some kind of spiritual issue, some kind of hole that they are trying to fill. But food, we don't tend to talk about that a whole lot. And it's not just people who are obese. Yes, I use the word fat, obese, because it's what it is. So let's stop playing around like it's not what it is. But I spoke to a couple of weeks ago, you might have remembered her, a young lady, triathlete, nutritionist who was a bulimic. Yes, a bulimic behind the scenes. So it's not just the people that we can see what's going on we all have interesting relationships with food, and a lot of times we use that food to destroy ourselves. Now you're saying, Dr. Veronica, why are you talking about this today? You know, there's always a point. There's always a point, because I have a guest with me who's going to help you live a better life. It's not just about what diet you go on. There's 7 billion people on earth. There's 7 billion different eating strategies. Seriously. I don't care, paleo, Mediterranean, bulletproof, whatever it is the grapefruit diet, the Atkins, the Daniel plan, whatever it is, that was great for the person that wrote it, but it's not for everybody. You have to figure out what is right for you, and diet, your eating, is just one of those pieces of the puzzle that you must put together. But before you get the physical pieces together, and in order to keep those physical pieces together, once you put them in place in the puzzle, once you get it figured out, you must have what's going on between your 2 ears and behind your eyes in order. You must have your emotions in check and your spirit whole. Now, how do you do that? Well, this is why I bring guests to you that can give you some of the strategies that they use to help Fortune 500 companies be Fortune 500 companies. So you can be haters and hate all those people that are out there having success, or you can join them and have happiness and wonderfulness like they do. So my next guest, Greg Jacobson. Are happy people healthier? Well, yes, they are. Because if you live with fear, anger, and sadness, you're going to be sick in your body. If you live with gratitude, joy, and love, you will be well. And Greg Jacobson helps us do it. So what can we learn from people who have built $100 million businesses with zero startup capital? You want to say you're poor? You can't do it? You don't have enough money? 0 to 100 million. Am I saying it right? 100 million? Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Greg, there he is. So, Greg, I'm going to bring you on and let's have a little chit chat, a fireside chat. You know, remember the fireside chat? I'm a little bit young to know about the fireside chat, but I know about it from watching YouTube, and watching YouTube is wonderful, except when you try to use Dr. YouTube to cure all that ails you. Greg, welcome to Wellness for the Real World. Thank you for coming back on.
Thank you so much for having me, Dr. Veronica. It's a pleasure as usual.
So, believing is the beginning. I talk to my clients and tell them, in order to be well, you're going to have to shift your mindset. I don't care what's going on in your life. I don't care if your husband's going banana, if your kids are going banana, if your job is crazy, that if you don't learn how to manage the stress and figure out how to be happy, but first you have to believe it. So,
amen.
Tell us about believing is the beginning, and how do you shift from a skepticism to belief?
Well, I'm considered one of the world's leading strategists for developing a success mindset. And when I say a success mindset, I mean committing to a thought process of empowering words and thoughts that will help you move in the direction in life that you want to move. So what that means is really caring more and committing to that. It's when people say, I care, it's a lot different than when they say, I don't care. And people will say, I don't care all the time. They don't mean to. But that shuts off a whole point in your brain that allows you to have an understanding of what's in front of you. It changes everything. So
you're talking about people say, I care, I don't care. And I don't care is one of those cliche statements. We all just throw it around. What do you want for dinner? I don't care. What do you want to do today? I don't care. So tell us more about these words. And is it really important that we're saying all the time, I don't care, I don't care? Which means pretty much you make the choice. That's what people are saying. That's what I believe they're saying when they say, I don't care. You make the choice. Yes?
Absolutely. Well, this process leads to happiness. You want to just eliminate the words I don't care from your vocabulary because you do care. You care about everything. And if you don't, you're just not thinking. Most people just say things without any conscious thoughts to it. Oh, whatever you're doing. Oh, it's killing me. Oh, I'm so tired I could just die. These words are literally affecting you on a subconscious level as well as a conscious level, and they are causing either damage or good in your life. It's amazing, the words that people use. I hear it all the time, and it's painful.
So one word that I check people a lot on, especially my coaching clients, is the word try. Is that one of your words that bothers you too when somebody says, I'll try?
Yeah, trying is an excuse not to do something. No one's ever tried and succeeded. You either do or you don't do. And failure is okay because failure is how you learn. The only way that people move through life is through a series of failures. You can't succeed at everything you do the first time you do it, or you're not trying enough things. If you fail, that's just a learning process that brings you to the next thing, that you know what you can't do and you make adjustments and you move forward. People need to embrace failure. Failure is not failure. Failure is success in small steps.
So what about these people who are really on the bottom? I mean, let's talk more about this try thing. So I put people on protocols and plans to help them grasp their help from the depths of the sea. And a lot of times they say, well, I'll try. I don't know if I'm going to, why do people say I'll try? Because it might be too hard for me. And when they're saying that they'll try and it might be too hard, it's almost like I know that they're not going to do it and they're not going to get a result. And then those same people cast upon everybody outside of them the blame when they didn't execute and didn't implement what we know will work. So how do people begin to change their language and change their thought process from trying to doing? Because it sounds easy, but people are out there, well, I'm going to try. And they really have already decided that they're not going to succeed, but they want to succeed. They have stepped forward to ask for help. How do they not sabotage themselves further and get rid of trying?
Be happy with small steps. Be happy with small successes. Most people are looking for instant results in life. That's their society. And it's just not happening. If you become large over time, like you said, fat, obese, whatever word you want to use, and you're uncomfortable with your size or your weight or your level of fitness, it took time to get there. There is no way that you can do something instant to get results to reverse all that damage that you've done. So small bite-sized chunks. For example, if someone on your show, let's say they eat a Big Mac meal every day, they get a large McDonald's meal every day, and their friends are telling them that's killing you, it's killing you. And they make a decision one day, you know what? I want to lose some weight. But for them, that decision is they're just not going to get the extra size meal. They're going to get the small fries and small drink. They're still going to eat a McDonald's. They're still going to get the Big Mac meal. And now they've done this for a week and they've lost 3 pounds. Are they moving in the right direction? Absolutely. Celebrate your small victories, because when you do that, you feel great about yourself and you start moving more in the right direction. It starts becoming more clear in your brain what needs to happen more often, and you stop kicking yourself for making mistakes. You're going to make mistakes. It's okay. Let's go with the 10% less. If you just eat 10% less, you will focus on eating less. Then it will grow to, let's eat a little bit healthier. Maybe now we need to exercise. Again, small steps is what takes you on long journeys. You are not going to jump from LA to New York. It's just not going to happen in one step. It's impossible.
So I want to ask you a couple keys that you share with companies about being productive, because it seems now we are busy. Everybody's busy. My father, who's retired, is busy. He doesn't even want to stay on the phone with me. Now, he's usually busy because he doesn't want to hear what I have to say, but busy. But people today are busy with social media, texting people, watching something on TV. I'm driving back and forth, or they're just busy. My job is too busy. And when I come from my job, I only have a minute to go to the bathroom, because then I got to put dinner on the table and I got to take the kids to all the activities. And if my kids are grown, then I have to do it with my grandkids. And then there's my parents on the other side. Busy. However, the busiest people are the ones who not only are able to implement and get things done for their family and their friends and be happy and pleasant and relaxed. They're also the people who are able to be successful in their businesses. So tell us some of the tips and strategies to get from busy, where you're just pushing paper around, to productive.
That's a great question. It's focus and scheduling, I would say, are the two main ingredients. Most people are distracted throughout the day. They think they're being productive, but man, they wrote their time down of what they actually do, checking Facebook, checking email, checking their voicemail, somebody coming in their office. It's crazy. Most people are productive maybe 12 to 15 minutes out of every hour. If you schedule your time, intelligently schedule your time, do not accept interruptions. Check your emails at certain times of the day only. Check your voicemail at certain times of the day only. You'll be much more productive. And treat it as though, hey, you know what? I've got a job. This is amazing. There's so many people that are in such a situation that is so difficult. I am so fortunate. I'm so lucky. I'm so blessed in so many ways that it changes your mindset to a joyous one, and you will get more done just because you're happier, using perspective, gratitude, positive anticipation, visualization, and changing the meaning of what is happening around you. Because things are happening, they're events. They don't have any meaning until you give them meaning. But again, with productivity, I don't want to go on a tangent, but productivity is really about scheduling and focus.
Scheduling and focus. And so most people don't like to, let me just say this. How do you begin to schedule your life? Now, you may say, well, I'm scheduled. I got to go to work from 9 to 5. I'm like, okay, I got to be in the studio at such and such a time. And then I have to go do this and go do that. I feel like I don't get anything done. I feel like I don't get anything done, but people tell me I get a whole lot done. I'm on super speed, although I don't feel like I'm getting enough done. So I know that I'm relatively productive compared to the average person, but other people seem busy all the time and they don't seem to be getting anything done. So
you're so right. Right.
How do they begin to make that change to schedule? Do you say, go through a day and do, like I tell sometimes people when they're having plateaus in their health and, weight loss, I say, okay, it's time to keep a food diary for a couple of days. Every single thing that you put in your mouth, I want to know about it. I want to know if you go to the store and you're tasting things. I want to know every little piece of everything that you do. And all of a sudden, when they come back after that week of doing the diary, they've lost 5 pounds, of course, because they become more mindful. So is that what you suggest to people that they do, that they begin to write down everything that they do?
No, actually, I don't, because what happens is people become list people. They make a list of all the things that they would like to do. And some people don't do lists. They just keep mental lists. I keep physical lists. And if you look at my list, there's no possible way that any human being could do everything on the list that I have to do today. But that's not really important. That's just a reminder for me. So the night before, I always do this in advance. I know what I'm going to do the next day. I know what's important to me. I have a list of, again, so many things I couldn't possibly do them, but I pick the top 3 and I knock off the most important things and the most urgent things in the morning. So I want to at least do 3 important things every day. If we just focus on 3, anyone can do 3. And let's go with the 3 important, not 3 most fun and the 3 easiest. We want to go with the 3 most impactful things that are going to move us forward in life. So we'll be able to do those, some of us by 7, 8, 9, 10 in the morning. Now, if you did the most important 3 things of your life to move you forward every day, and you knock those out in the morning, how would you feel in the afternoon and the evening? You have so much empowerment, and you would move so far, so fast, it would be incredible. But again, people are overwhelmed with their lists, and so they do the small, non-productive, fun items, and the big things and important things just go by the wayside. They don't get done.
Well, what if you're one of those people that, and I tell you what my list issue is. In the beginning of the year, I decided I want to figure out how to be more productive, as if I really need to, but of course, we all want to be more efficient so that we get more out of our life. And I'm able to live more of my purpose, because this is what getting unbusy and productive is about, so that you can live more of your life purpose. I make the list, and then at the end of the day, I look, and yes, I have crossed off items on that list, but I always feel that I've let myself down because I didn't get to everything. And then I feel like I lied to myself. And so I said I was going to do this, but I didn't do this. Oh God, I lied to myself. Talk about those people on the other side. That get into that, because I have lists in my head, of course, but when I write down a physical list, I feel like, okay, I'm holding myself to this. And now if I don't do it, and then I stop the list and I feel, okay, I probably would be better with the list, but if I don't get everything done, I feel like, oh God, I lied to myself. Talk about people like that.
I get it. We're a world of overachievers. We believe that we can do more in a year than we can, and we underestimate what we can do in 5 or 10 years, or a week or a month. So what we need to do, again, is pick the 3 most important items, knock those out. Once those are done, you will feel better about the list. Now, if you're feeling small or insignificant, it's because you're acting small or living small. We're all enough. We're all worthy and deserving right now. Let's laser focus on a way to set ourselves up for success every day. Time in the day. When Bill Gates was at Microsoft, he had his calendar scheduled to the 5 minutes for 2 years in advance. You want to say you're not productive or don't have enough time?
What?
Get productive. Crazy.
That's a little much. But that's why he's Bill.
You become the richest man in the world.
That's why he's Bill Gates. Exactly. And he held himself to it. I also like Mark Zuckerberg, who decides pretty much every year that he's going to learn something new. But not only just learn it, he's going to go for mastery. What do you think of that?
I think mastery is what we should all strive for in every area of our life. I think that people should make a list of the things that are important to them and the areas that are important to them and move toward them every day. Put them in a place that they can see them and actively work your plan. If you don't have a plan, find somebody with systems and strategies that you can follow, somebody who's had success in that area. You don't want to follow somebody who just says, oh, I know what to do, I know how to do it, and they have no proof in their life. They're giving you relationship advice and they've been divorced 3 times, so they're giving you health advice and they're sick or they're fat, or they're telling you this is what you need to be happy, and they're angry at people all the time. These are the ones that are flipping people off in their car and honking. They're treating people as though their intentions aren't honorable, but they would never say anything face to face in an elevator. Those aren't the people that you want to follow in a leadership role. You want people that have had success in the areas that you're looking to have success in and model their actions. You'll get similar results.
So I have to tell you a funny story, because you're saying model people after people who can demonstrate success. They walk the walk in their own life and they can get success with other people. And so for me, as a physician coach at this point in time, as a coach, I have people who get results, and I can, go look at my website and see the testimonials. drveronica.com. You want to know, do I know what I'm doing? Go see in people's own words whether or not they got results. All right. Now, I was on Facebook and I joined one of the various health groups, and most of them are made up of people with various conditions. So I joined one of these fibromyalgia groups. All right. Now, I believe fibromyalgia is a real issue. It's inflammation. There are very good ways to be able to treat it and get people out of the morass of fibromyalgia. So I joined this group and I start giving information. Now, realize that I have a real degree and real training. You know that they got pissed at me and kicked me out of the group. They kicked me out of the group. They said, I have no idea what I'm doing because I don't have fibromyalgia. This is why they have fibromyalgia. Now, Dwayne's over on the other side laughing. But you have fibromyalgia if you're in the group with people who have fibromyalgia, who are telling you what to do with it, but they got fibromyalgia, but you won't listen to a doctor. So if you're sick and you're fat and you're unsuccessful, it's because you don't have people in your life that can show you what to do. You learn how to do everything. You learned how to talk, how to drive, how to do every single piece of your life because somebody showed you how to do it, who knew already how to do it. And so you didn't learn to drive from somebody with a suspended license. You are not going to get into an airplane with a pilot who read his degree on the internet. You aren't going to do that. So why do you do that with yourself? Why? If you continue to do it, you will be going with the Einstein of insanity and keep doing the same thing. Self-help is a lie. And so if you want to keep lying to yourself, keep going to the self-help way, keep reading the book that you're reading. Somebody's got to help you because they're outside of the box and they know what they're doing. And so this is why I bring on people like Greg Jacobson, not just so you can listen to them on the radio, but because you can go and get services from people like this. Now, he may not be the right person for you, but people like Greg Jacobson know lots of people. Like people like Dr. Veronica know lots of people. My friends say, who do you know that does blah, blah, blah? And I say, give me a moment. And then 5 minutes later, I say, go to this person or that person. This is part of teaching and coaching. I don't say I can do everything. I can't do everything. I refer to people like Greg. Happilyachieving.com. Happilyachieving.com. Greg, thank you for being on Wellness for the Real World.
Thank you for listening to the Wellness Revolution podcast. If you want to hear more on how to bring wellness into your life, visit drveronica.com. See you all next week. Take care.